Hello everyone, my name is Kirill, or Ili in the musical world, and in this video I'm going to compare two modular systems from Erica Synths. On one hand, they share the same name, Pico System II and III. On another hand, one of them said to be purely analog, where the second is not. And although they both are fairly cheap for what they can do, still the price tag differs more than in 2 times. So the comparison is pretty difficult, and that's why this video is so long. I will go through every set of modules, through sound sources, through filters, through effects, and so on. And for where it's possible, you will also hear a small sound demo. And obviously there are timestamps here below. So you can jump straight to the point what is interesting for you. And also at the end, I will give a demo for each one of them and then for both of them together. These demos will be shortened, and in the hints you will see more lengthy full demos that I've made using each one of them and them both together. Now, without further ado, let's jump to my table. Let's not jump to my table. Let's go to my table and listen to these things and hear more about the functionality. Let me start from an obvious fact. The prices are different. This device costs 1,100 euro and this costs 450. This is a desktop version, not EuroRack. EuroRack costs even slightly cheaper. So they're not exactly in the same bucket price-wise, but at the same time they are both very modular, they are both still fairly cheap if you consider the amount of things that they can do. And I don't know how in what situation you are currently, but for me it was that whether I should buy Pico System III or should I save some money and buy this one. And maybe this video will help you to decide. Few more facts. You see the size is almost the same. This one is tiny bit bigger, but about the same. It's also slightly higher. Also, this one is a solid piece of metal of something. In EuroRack it's the same, it's like just one plate, and here these are tiny modules that can be taken out, they can be replaced, and so on and so forth. So this is a fully EuroRack compatible device. Also, Pico System III is positioned as fully analog, so these VCOs are analog, the filter is analog, and delay I suppose is also analog. Although the Pico System II is more sort of digital, you will hear it by the sound. Like for example, for the drums you use samples, they are not generated, they're not synthesized right here. And this is it about the facts. Now the structure of this video will be the following. I will go through set of functions in both of these modules, and I will try to give them some score based on my personal view on this, based on my totally subjective judgment. In the end, I will give you my conclusion, and I will also give a small sound demo, so you can not only hear by my words, but also hear the sound, the music itself, and maybe this will help you to understand these devices better. So about the modules, about the functions. First, I will talk about the sound sources, then I will talk about the filters, then I will talk about Rythm and sequencing modules, then about sound shaping, and obviously effects, and at the end we will also talk about different glue stuff like mixers and so on. And as I said, at the end I will give you my conclusion. Let's get started. So first thing, sound sources. What do we have here? So for Pico System II, we have 2 main sources, which are VCO and voice, they are called. VCO also can work as an LFO, so here is a switch, and it has 16 different waves which you can use and also obviously tune, and it's like 2 banks here and 16 waves in each, waveforms in each, so overall it's 32, quite a plenty to choose from. Then the second module is called voice. It has different sound generation algorithms, and you can choose them from here, and you can also modulate one of the 2 parameters each of one has. Then two other sources of sound here are drum modules. Here they are. You can load up to 64 samples in each of them, and it has at the same time it can play two samples. Like each module can play two samples, so overall two modules, then four samples. And you can choose the way they play. They can either overload the sounds, or you can say that if one sound comes at the same time as another, only one of them will play. Also, you can adjust the release time. You can also slightly change the pitch, and you can obviously trigger these two sounds, these two samples independently. And overall, with these two drum modules, you can make a proper drum beat. Then what we have in the Pico System III, the newer version and the cheaper version, you have only two sources of sound. Here they are. So they're both called VCO, VCO1, VCO2. They are slightly different. This one has pulse wave or triangle wave, and for pulse wave you can change the pulse width, and you can also modulate it, and you can also change the octave it plays on. The same for VCO2, you also can change the pitch, which octave, and it has also triangle output, but also it has shape output, and shape means that here is some small wave forming probably. So you can also change the shape of a wave you get here, and as you can switch them to a low octave, they can also work as LFOs. Like here it's more explicit, it's either VCO or LFO, and here it's sort of implicit. You turn the tone down, you switch the switch to -1 octave, and voila, you get LFO. Now a quick sound demo of these things. Let me start from the Pico System II. So we are on the VCO1. Turn up the volume. Let's listen to different waves. Different bank. This is a pure noise. Oh, I like this one. Such a saw. And I can even modulate it with a sine wave. Let's make this. All this. Something completely glitchy. Cool. So now let's have a look at the voice. Gain, tone, different parameters. Parameters settings are different for different algorithms. And let me also do the same here. Now the drums modules, I will just take a look at one of them, and you can understand the second one is precisely the same. So drum modules we need to trigger, otherwise they will not work. And let me just use one of them. As I told you, you can use two and sequence them independently. I'll currently use just one. Okay, nice. You can change the sample it plays. Drop. Ooh, hardstyle. And let me take the random pulse, actually. So I'm changing the pitch, the first one. And making it shorter. That's it. That's how the Pico System II sounds. And let's have a look at the Pico System III now. This is a pulse output of a first VCO. You can change the pulse width. Going down, going up. This is how the pulse sounds. Let me actually modulate it also with a sine wave from here. And also some separate hold for the pulse width. So you hear that the pulse width also slightly modulates. Nice. Let's now check the triangle output. Obviously the pulse width doesn't do anything with the triangle output, so you can only change the tone here. So let's make it slightly more interesting. Let's put sine. Let's make the clock our sequence, and sequence length to be 4, and the sequencer will sequence our VCO. And let me make it faster. With pulse. We can combine pulse and triangle to make more deeper sounding thing. Okay, this was the first VCO, and here is the second one. I will already connect both triangle and shape outputs here. And here is, oh yeah, let me keep it this here. And the CV out of a sequencer I will put immediately here so we can hear it. So first start with the triangle as well. I think the tune is more sensitive than in the VCO1. Again, the shape doesn't change anything here for the triangle, although it makes sense for the shape output. And again, I can modulate the shape from the sample and hold, so you can hear different. Yep, that's how it sounds, and just all together. So you see, indeed, more analog sound. Nice. So you can judge it by yourself. My personal opinion is that I really like how the Pico System II sounds, just because the oscillators are more versatile. Yes, they're not purely analog, but I don't know how you, I don't really care about this. And in my dream system, I probably would have both oscillators from the Pico System Pico System II, and this one with the changing wave shape from Pico System III. I really like this one. For me, these VCOs, they sound quite shallow. I don't know why. It makes way better once you use both outputs and you morph them, and you also add some delay. Then it's much better. But if speaking purely about the VCOs, it's not my thing, probably. So in this comparison, the comparison of the voice modules, I definitely give my voice to the Pico System II. Like, even at least because it has 4 sound sources and this has only 2. Although, as I mentioned, both these two, they have 2 outputs, which is also kind of 4. Still, Pico System II is my fav here. Next one, filter modules. In this comparison, I will use one sound source, so you can listen exactly to the filter, not to how the oscillator sounds. And again, first about the facts. So in Pico System II, we have one VCF, one filter that can be chosen to work either as a low pass or band pass filter. Obviously, you have cutoff and resonance frequency, and you have one CV in, which I think is for the cutoff. I need to check it. If it's wrong, then the correct thing will appear here. That's it. That's the only thing you have on Pico 2. And here we have 2 LPGs, 2 low-pass gateways. As you can guess from the name, it's filters that work only on the low-pass mode, so no band pass or high pass, which is totally cool for me. I don't know how's it for you. And you have, which is called offset here, but like it's essentially cut off knob and 2 resonance mode knobs. Here you can change between them working in the VCA mode or VCF mode. And here is a sound in, sound out. And I'm not sure about the modulation here. Please feel free to correct me. My understanding is that one of them can modulate VCF, another can modulate VCA. Now that's enough talking about filters. Let's just listen to these filters. Let's first again start with the Pico System II. I take first VCO, I put it, let me do it like this. I will take first VCO, I mean the only VCO. Tuck, tuck, low pass, no cutoff, resonance to the bottom. And let me sequence it from the sequencer like this. And sequencer needs some clock signal to work. So let me take the pulse from here. So it feels completely open. And I will do some just random thing. Okay. Make it faster. You like how this one sounds? And let's start turning the cut-off knob without resonance. That's minimal. And there is still some sound. Okay, that's interesting. This one doesn't change anything here. Now, let me put resonance to the max. Not too harsh, not too screaming, pretty gentle. Then somewhere in the middle, the resonance, and again sweep down. Okay, that's how it sounds. Maybe also the band pass. Band pass. Yep, that's how it goes. And now let's listen to the Pico System III. As I said, the same setup. I will also take this VCO, just a longer cable, and let me take this low pass gateway, sending it straight to the output. Like this, resonance is 0. Okay, here is our sound, and oops, making filter and sweeping down. So we're still not even at the 12 o'clock, and the sound is completely gone. I am turning the volume up. So we haven't even closed it completely, but already it's filtered out everything. That's interesting. Now let me turn the resonance okay to the top. It will be harsh, but you need to listen to it, you need to hear it. Slowly moving up. Again, I'm already on the 12, even more, and still sound just slightly started appearing. Oh, you hear how it screams. Oh, how bad it is. So to the middle, to the 12, the resonance, and again sweeping down. Still screaming. Not that bad. Yeah, that's it. So it's up to you to decide which one you prefer. For me, it's really hard choice. If you feel that you need bandpass, then probably the filter from the Pico System II is more your thing. You also heard it sounds very gentle. They say it works perfectly for the acid bass. Probably. For my taste, I really prefer the filter on the Pico System III. It's so terrible, so screaming, so analog. I really love it. Who wins in this battle? For me, it's definitely Pico System III. As I said, I like it. And again, here are two low-pass gateways, not just one. Two is always better than one. It's like the same as with sound sources there. And what else? And they also can work in the VCA mode. Now the third thing I want to compare it about, and it's sequencing or clocking, something around that. So here will be no sound, I presume, just some facts and again some emotions. First thing to mention, they both have modules called mod. So you see mod here and mod here. But ta-da, it's completely different modules, like they have nothing to do with each other. What is called mod on Pico System III, exactly the same thing is called random here. And if you just go to the Erica Synths website, you see this module, it's called random. I don't know why they called mod. If you work for Erica Synths, maybe you can answer me this. So this module, modulation module, I will cover in the next section. And in this one, we'll talk about the random and mod or random here as well. It's essentially LFO combined with a random noise generator. So this block provides you sine wave or pulse wave, and this already makes the pulse wave to go random, and these two are sample and hold and noise. Very useful thing, very useful module, and I'm glad that they both have it. And if it's running with internal clock, you see it blinks. Rate knob adjusts the rate, so it goes faster or slower. And if you have external clock inserted in here, patched in here, then the rate knob will adjust the clock division. So again, going faster or slower, but depending on the clock input. Again, module is exactly the same in both systems. Another module in this section is sequencer. Now it's called exactly the same, sequencer, but these are completely different modules. Let's start from the Pico System III. This is a 16-step sequencer, and for each step you can adjust the note which pitch it gives, which control voltage it gives. You can also randomize things, and what I really love, you can store and load preset even when you're playing. So this is a really versatile module. And what about the Pico System III? Nah, it's 2 to 4 steps. You can use this switch to have so I need to patch clock in here so you can see that it changes at least the LEDs. So this is 2 steps, and here 3 and 4. So it's up to 4 steps, and by turning these knobs you adjust the control voltage that comes out of it. Obviously no notes here, and you just the precision is only in your ear. You adjust it as you want using your own ears, maybe some external tuner if you wish so. But the fact is that this is only maximum 4 steps. It's enough for tiny arpeggio, or not even arpeggio, but like some small thing. But overall, for me, it was always not enough, and I was almost every time I was using external sequencer for both VCOs. Another module which exists only for the Pico System II, but nothing for Pico System III, is the trigger module, and it's a really awesome one. You can think of it as a sequencer for drums. At a simple level, it can be just a clock divider. So you can say that on every clock, the first T1 sends you a signal, on every second clock signal T2 also sends signal, and so on and so forth. But the good thing is that you can program it as you wish, so it doesn't have to be like a real clock divider like you will see in Eurorack modules. This is more versatile because you can create even patterns for this module and load them into here using simple web interface. And it doesn't even need to have a clock. You can just use it separately from anything, and you see you can adjust the speed. Or you can clock it in from somewhere else, like from the random module, for example, and that's it. Really a good one. I'm impressed by this module. So for me, a clear winner in this comparison is Pico System II. Again, just to recap, because of the sequencer, 16-step sequencer, which you can store and load programs to and from, and trigger, where you can either split your clock or even create more complex sequences. And this random module, where is it? It's just awesome. It's in both systems. So for this comparison, for this step, for the third step, my winner is Pico System II. Now, next one, the fourth, is sound shaping and modulation. We already talked that in the random module you have an LFO, which is a sine or pulse wave form, or even like the other ones if you wish so. Also, the VCO module can work as LFO in Pico System II, and any of these VCOs in Pico System III can also work as an LFO by switching them down to the minus octave. Therefore, let's move to more interesting things, namely envelope generators and VCAs. In Pico System II, you have a very versatile module called, modulator, which can work both as a VCA and envelope generator. It can work in a linear scale or logarithmic scale, and it can be either attack decay or attack sustain release mode. And it's a good one. It's only one. That's, I think, the main problem of this module. It's cool, but it's only one. Let's have a look at the Pico System III, what they have here. They have 2 voltage controlled envelope generators. They are exactly identical. They have attack and decay, and they can be triggered either by a trigger or just run in a free loop. And you can even modulate both attack and decay parameters here using control voltage. So they are good, and here are two of them. I don't know what else to say. You have two envelope generators, which are good, which you can modulate. Yes, it's only attack decay, but come on. I like it. Definitely. I like these envelope generators. Then, quickly touching upon the VCAs, I mentioned that you have two VCAs here, which are like low-pass gateways that can work. They can work as VCAs as well. Plus, in Pico System 3, you have a pretty strange module that is called VCO control, which is also here to provide you some sound shaping, and it's internally connected to other modules. Like you see an arrow here. By using this knob, you exponentially control the frequency of the VCO1 module. By using this knob, you control linearly frequency of this module, and you can obviously patch them in and have some external source to control these things. And also you have a built-in VCA here. And VCA by default, it goes to the VCO2. Otherwise, if you patch it, it doesn't go to VCO2. It goes wherever you want. Very sophisticated module, very weird. I use it, but I will be good without it. This module is not sold separately anywhere on Erica Synths website, so it doesn't exist as a separate module. It's only part of this layout. And that's it in this section. My winner here is Pico System III, mainly because of two envelope generators and two separate VCAs, although these VCAs I usually tend to use as filters. And also this guy is okay. It's good at it. It is here. Probably I would give it away for just another filter, which is also switchable to the VCA. So yeah, the score goes to Pico System 3. Next one, thing that everyone loves, effects. You cannot live without effects. And in Pico System 2, here is only one effects module, DSP. And my main problem with this module is that, shit, it's only one module. I want to have more of the DSP modules. It's so damn good. It's not analog, sure, but it has 8 different effects. You can control the parameters there. Parameters are unfortunately different for different modules. You can control voltage, the parameters, and yeah, as usual, control the dry wet parameter here. We will listen to it in a moment. And for the Pico System 2, the effects module is only one. It's a pre-gate delay, so like one delay module. It's a good one. I really like how it sounds, but again, sometimes you just wish an effect to be something different than only delay. Although this delay is awesome, and it also can self-isolate if you turn everything up. It creates a perfect drone sound, which goes higher and higher. Great. I definitely love it. And again, as in one of the previous sections, I wish to have them both. They're slightly different. I mean, the delay here is slightly different than this delay. You cannot do the same. And I wish to have them both. Now let's have a quick listen. Again, I will use the same sound source, let it be precisely the same thing. I will use the VCO here without any filter. Output comes here. Now you hear what they call granular delay. Granular delay. This one is a reverb. Ooh, great. Then this one is another reverb, saturated reverb. This is called Leslie speaker. I think it does panning or something like that. Then another one is overdrive. It doesn't overdrive that much, right? I don't know why. If I go slightly down, will it? Oh yeah. Great. Now to the Pico System 3. So the sound comes to the brigade delay, then brigade delay goes from out to the mixer, and that's it. Let's start listening to it. Yeah, this is the more drony mode. I think you get the impression. So my clear winner in the comparison of effects is Pico System II because of the DSP. With all the love I have for the brigade delay, DSP can just do much more. As I said, the only wish is to have more DSPs. I would easily get rid of the 2 drums to have 3 DSPs, more DSPs. The last section here is a boring one, is the glue modules. What they have to offer here. Quickly through the facts. Pico System II has 2 mixer modules and 1 output module that has 2 outputs for phones and for linear output, and it takes in separately left and right channels. Pico System III has 3 mixers, 1, 2, 3, and the last 2 are internally interconnected. If you don't patch anything, things coming from the mixer 2 and mixer 3 get mixed like in total, and you can use the sum out to get them out together. So you don't even have to patch them here. It's really useful, although I generally dislike implicit patching. In this case, it's really handy to have so many mix-in holes. Whom should I give a score here? I don't know. They are both good. I mean, it's nothing. It's just it's not nothing. It's just mixers. They are important, and they both have enough of them, so it's good. This one is slightly more. Yeah, but at the same time, if you need to have 2 channels to output, this provides you this flexibility. This one doesn't. So score goes to both. Ta-da-da! Now it's time for the conclusion. By the scores that I totally subjectively gave them, Pico 2 is winning with a tiny margin. Now quickly let's go through the facts and then through emotions. Fact: this baby costs almost 3 times more than this one when you buy it new, or about 2 times more when you buy it used. I mean, comparing again both used. So this one you can find on eBay for something around 700, and this will be something around 350. So the fact: this one costs twice or 3 times less than this one. Do you need any other facts? Do you need any other information to make your choice? Okay, probably you need, otherwise you will not be watching any videos. So now to the emotions. Initially I got this device, and when I got it, it was my first purely modular device that is not pre-patched, almost not pre-patched, that is completely patch whatever you want, do whatever you want. And my initial emotion was, okay, this thing produces a sound, but can it make any music? And still up to this point, I think it's a great device, but as a standalone, at least for my taste, it doesn't produce a music that can be enjoyed by people outside of our geeky modular, geeky electronic music community. Like, I did some tracks with purely Pico System III that I really like. If I manage to do so, you will see a hint here or here. But at the same time, most of the time when I jam with it, it turns out to be just a garbage. Although, if you combine Pico System III with other devices, it's perfect because it has so many patching possibilities. And usually if I bring another VCO source like Behringer Crave or Natron, it's all starts sounding more like a real instrument, like real music. I like it. At the same time, when I just got the Pico System II, within a very short time learning it, I was able to produce a tune, a beat that I really enjoyed, that I can share to the public, that I think can become a proper track. And again, it's completely self-contained thing. You have not only electronical VCOs here, you also have the drum samples, although I'm not a fan of samples, but at the same time it is useful. It is useful if you want to have only one device, then this can cover most of what you need. You may be asking that I didn't cover the memory card slot. Why I didn't do so? The answer is simple. I find it completely useless for me, maybe not for you. It's probably handy if you want to store some patch and quickly restore it when you play live somewhere. For me, I usually jam at home, and for me it's way more fun to patch everything manually. I played with this thing for a few times and now it's in my shelf, just laying there. I never ever touched it anymore. But again, to emphasize, maybe for you this will be a killer feature. Sorry, not for me. Conclusion. My conclusion. My very, very subjective conclusion. I like them both. If I could, I would buy Pico 2 and not a desktop, but Eurorack version of Pico System 3. Take out some modules of the Pico System 2, like the drums. As I said, I don't really need them. And then I will use them together. But that's quite a lot of money. So now you see them both on my table, but one of them unfortunately will have to go away very soon. A huge advantage of the Pico System II is that it's purely modular. I mentioned it multiple times. I will mention it again. So this is a completely Eurorack compatible device. You can take these modules out of here and put it into your Eurorack module, into your Eurorack rack. Now to the final point. If you have money to buy Pico System II, my personal advice is go with it, buy it. If you only have money for Pico System III, go buy it. You will not regret. It's a great device. If you want to maybe take some time to spare more money and instead of buying Pico System III, buy Pico System II, maybe it's a good decision. But if you're just starter as me, like when I got this one, it was as I said, it was my first purely modular device. If you're like me, then don't wait, don't spare money for the Pico System II. Just get this one. Try it, learn it. It has a lot of things to offer. It has a lot to offer. It's really fun to play with. It's really awesome to learn all this stuff, to understand how the filters work, how the envelope generators work, VCA and everything around. It's great for learning. But then I think most likely you will switch from Pico System III to something more deep, more sound, more interesting. Thank you for watching it. I hope this video was useful for you. If you have something to say, either correct my mistakes, give advice, or cheer me up, please use the comment section below. And these two beautiful thumbs going up or down, use whichever one you like. And now let's enjoy some music. I tried to prepare a more or less similar patches for both of them. So peace and see you soon in the next videos.